Hey guys, make sure you follow me on social media. That way we could be a little bit more interactive. You could tell me what type of content you want to see in the futures, and I could keep you guys updated, on videos and when I'm going to upload them, things like that. And also, follow me on Stardust. The Stardust app allows you to film your initial reaction to like a TV show episodes or a movie. It's a really cool app. Like, when I got out of the movie, I like to film those like initial thoughts video. Really easy to sign up and then follow me at allmanfondly. So yeah, thank you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to another review. As I promised, a review for the Cloverfield paradox by the end of this week. Now before I start, a spoiler warning is in order. I find it's very difficult to talk about this movie without mentioning a certain plot point. So spoiler alert for the Cloverfield paradox and possibly 10 Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield. And one last thing, can we just take a moment and applaud the advertising team behind the Cloverfield paradox? This is some of the craziest advertisement I've seen for a movie ever. Like, nobody would do this in the modern world. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I saw a movie where, without any teaser, any trailer, nothing. They just drop a TV spot during the Super Bowl, and at the end of that TV spot, they're like, oh, by the way, you can watch this tonight without leaving your home, without, paying ticket. You just have to go on Netflix, and if you're not a member already, just sign up for like a free trial, and you can watch the movie at home for free. That's crazy. That is so crazy and ballsy, and I have to give them a lot of credit for that. And had the movie been better, this could have been a game-changing moment for Netflix, because then all the the big Hollywood producers, they'd be like, you know what, this looked kind of fun. Audience, they're reacting positively to it. Why not just try it? And then a bunch of people is going to make movie for Netflix, and start doing that surprise TV spot or trailer if they want to do it. So I feel like had the movie been better, this could have been like a big moment for Netflix. Alright, now let's review the movie. This movie is a lot. This movie is a lot of information. When I first saw it, I decided to, took, as much time as I need to digest this movie, to just sleep on it a little bit, just think about, what just happened. And as a big fan of the first two Cloverfield movie, I have to say this movie is quite disappointing. It is not terrible, as, critics are saying. If this movie had, been released in theater, had it had a theatrical run, it wouldn't have been like the worst thing in the world. I'm not gonna be mad about it. Earlier this year we got Inhumans that got the first two episodes screened on IMAX, and then right now 50 Shades is playing in theaters. So there are worse products that are being shown on a big screen right now. So had this movie got that theatrical run, I would not have been offended by it. But I can see why they want to do it this way. The movie is not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. I tried really hard to pinpoint the main reason why I did not like this movie as much as the first two. Is it because of a smaller budget? Now, I don't think this movie has a small budget. There are some shots that are very, very beautiful with great visual effect. And the production design, overall was very impressive. Is it because of the cast? No, the cast, they were good. Like, most of the performance I really enjoy. It is a competently directed movie, and overall a fairly well made movie. So why didn't I like it? There has to be a reason. And so I slept on it. I thought about it. And I think it's the plot, because the plot of this movie, the story of this movie felt like, someone trying to mesh two scripts together. And I think that's very much the case, because if you didn't know this already, the script for this movie originally was not a Cloverfield movie. This was a completely, standalone space station horror movie called God Particle. I think it was JJ, I'm not sure if it was JJ, but someone, I think, read the script and and said, what could be really cool if this script, instead of being the standalone space movie, we should make it a Cloverfield movie. It's just Hollywood things happen. People get into a room, talk for a bit, and then now we got, the Frankenstein monster that is the script of the Cloverfield paradox. Now I don't know this for sure, but I think the space, like the scenes where they are in space, was filmed way before, like filmed long times ago. And once the decision to make this a Cloverfield movie happened, they did a little bit of reshoot, and I think some of the scene on Earth was added to the script, because when you watch the movie, it felt very disconnected. Like the moment the main character went to the Cloverfield space station, the Earth stuff and the space stuff felt very disconnected, and it's like you're watching two different movies. Like you just jump back and forth from one movie to another, and it's kind of distracting at times. As I mentioned before, this is a fairly well directed and well acted movie. Daniel Bruhl and the two actors who play Hamilton and Keel, whose name I won't even try to pronounce because I'm just gonna go ahead and mess it up anyway. They did a fantastic job. Chris O'Dowd, I think that's how you say his name. He's a very funny guy, very funny actor, and I think he was brought into this project for the comedic aspect and to deliver funny lines. Unfortunately, the humor did not work for me at all. There was one moment where a character just died. Like, he just died a horrible death. That character, Mundy, he just made a joke. He made a joke out of the horrible situation. Not only did I not laugh, that moment just made Mundy like the biggest asshole in the entire universe. I thought Julius Onah, he did a pretty good job directing this movie, especially some of the more, intense, more, like tension-filled sort of scenes, where things, are not going their way, like when, they got travel into like a different dimension. Things are just crazy, like the batshit's crazy on that ship. And, some of the more intense scenes were very well directed, very suspenseful. And there's some action scenes that are really breathtaking. There's one death scene of this character. Now I'm gonna try to be as vague as possible, right? So she got stuck in a room full of water, and then the room got froze. That's all I'm going to say. But that is a badass death. Now, to call this movie a Cloverfield sequel or prequel or whatever it is, like how it's fit into the timeline, it's a bit of an overstatement, because just like 10 Cloverfield Lane, this is it's like a very self-contained movie. And I think, again, part of it is because originally it was not a Cloverfield movie. But everything until like the final moment, it was just a very self-contained movie, and there's very little to none, like references and Easter egg or whatnot to the Cloverfield universe, or maybe I just missed it. I don't know. And that's my biggest problem with this movie. By the end of the movie, I felt very confused, and not in a good way. And for a movie that was advertised to be the bridge to fill out the gap between Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane, it answers some questions, like one or two questions, but it raised even more questions. And now there's a bunch of theory videos on YouTube, and I enjoy watching those videos, but they're just theories. Just a theory, a film theory, you know what I mean? So yeah, and like for a movie that was supposed to answer a lot of my questions that I had since Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane, it raised even more questions, and it made me even more confused. And even if you ignore all the Cloverfield things in this movie and just view it as like a space horror, like thriller, like standalone movie, it's still like I said, it is well made enough. But there's nothing new about it. Like, you have seen similar movies that are better before. Movies like Alien, movies like Prometheus, movies like Life. There's one scene of one character staring at a mirror, and it's ripped straight off of Prometheus. Like, the moment I saw it, I'm like, yep, Prometheus. I saw this, but in better version, you know? Like, it's a shame. And I think that's another problem with this movie, is the lack of originality. You know, the first two Cloverfield movie was known to be very fresh, very original. In the end, the Cloverfield Paradox had good performances, fairly well directed, and some good moments of suspense. But for a movie that promised to give you answers, the audience are left with even more question and confusion. And I don't think we're gonna get those answers until the next Cloverfield movie, which is called Overlord, I think. For now. They might change this later. Not a terrible movie by any means, but definitely the weakest of the three Cloverfield movies. And I'm gonna give the Cloverfield Paradox a 6 out of 10. I think as a standalone space sci-fi horror it sort of worked, but then they try to force it into the Cloverfield universe, and then certain things start to happen to like set up next movie and to try to fill in the gap of the last movie. That's why they run into some trouble. And even though the advertising for this movie was spot on, the movie itself didn't really have that quality to match it. Hey guys, thank you for checking out the review. I would love to hear your thought on the movie. In the comment, let me know how you feel about the movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you enjoyed my review, hit the like button and subscribe to me if you want to see more reviews like this. Make sure you follow me on Stardust. And with that being said, I'll see you soon.